Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored as usual by the Unity National Bank in Miami County with offices in Piqua, Troy, and Tip City. They asked the question, when was the last time you were delighted with your bank? We'll compare them to others and see if you aren't. See the difference a community bank can make in your life. The Unity National Bank sponsors the First Person here on Press Bros. Volleyball, again, the subject this week, and we're in New Bremen High School, where we were a couple of weeks ago, and we witnessed the Coldwater New Bremen volleyball game on that particular night. We wrote about it. We had about 150,000 hits on that particular story. We're still having people who write in and make comments about that particular night, how exciting it was, how good it was. And the coach of the New Bremen Cardinals is here with us, Diana Kramer, along with Paige Jones, their fine outside hitter, senior player on the team. And we want to talk a little bit about that particular night because, as you told me then, it was special for you. And I know it was special for this community. You guys got a lot of mileage out of that.
I mean, it was an unbelievable game, atmosphere. It was what high school kids dream about, even what college kids dream about. It was better than some college atmospheres that night. And, you know, just seeing the town come out and rally behind us, it was unbelievable. And then the way that we won, you know, with the storyline behind it, Coldwater being number one, us being number one, and just the history, it was just an unbelievable match.
You'd rarely see, in fact, I don't remember the last time I saw a high school volleyball game where you had both sides of the bleachers pulled out to accommodate that many people, because Coldwater travels well.
Absolutely.
They're number one in the state, as you mentioned, in Division III. You're number one in Division IV. And it was crazy. It was a five-set match. It went down to the last. In fact, I don't think they had lost a set this year, and they went down to the very last set.
It was, I mean, like you said, it was unbelievable. Both sides of the bleachers were pulled out, and it was packed. I mean, and people were on the edge of their seat from point 1 of the first game to point 15 of the last game. And that's what made the game so special. It was unbelievable. Volleys back and forth, you know, amazing defense, you know, punctualized by the big swings of both sides hitters, especially Paige.
I want to talk a little bit about what you have going here, because as I mentioned, you've lost one match this year. You're rated in Division IV, number one in the state. You've got all that attention right now, and of course there is a challenge when you have a player like Paige who's going to University of Michigan. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret now. Right. Rated one of the 5 best players in the state of Ohio in 88 counties. The challenge for you to kind of harness the egos, the ambitions, the personalities of 6 players like that, with especially a player of her talent, and make them play together. You got to fight through, as I said, the egos and the personalities. How do you do it?
I mean, Paige makes us so much better. Paige is such a team player that, you know, having her on the team allows us to accomplish our goals. And our goal is to be number one at the end of the season. You know, everybody gets so wrapped up in the rankings that this team's number 1, this team's number 3. You know, that stuff it matters, but it doesn't matter near as much as what it would mean to finish the season ranked number 1, and that's what we want to do. But, you know, with Paige out there, she's been playing with her friends and her teammates since she's been, you know, 5 or 6 years old probably. So they have a special relationship that it doesn't matter who gets all the glory. I mean, it's a team first, and Paige would even attest to that. Paige would rather have, you know, 5 less kills if that means we win the set. So it's just a bunch of unselfish players playing the game, and when you do that and the town's behind you, good things are going to happen.
Diane Kramer, our guest this week on First Person, along with Paige Jones, and I'm going to ask you a little bit of the same question. I know you have a lot of appreciation and respect for your teammates because they make it possible for you to play and do what you do during a match.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it is impossible to win a volleyball game by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, and also just like having the energy from your teammates. Like you yourself can create energy, but having them also create energy helps you as a player and as a person. I mean, and also these girls are just amazing to play with. I mean, we never have any drama. It's fluid all the time, and it's just amazing.
That is an amazing thing because, as I said to Diana a moment ago, egos and just individualism, to keep that out of any sport is really tough for a coaching staff.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's just our personality priorities. Like, we know that we have to play as a team. Like, we can't be individuals on the floor, because when that happens, everything starts to break down, because if one thing stops working, then the whole system stops working.
I'm going to ask you this, and I think you explained this to me before when we talked once earlier in the fall. Of all the sports, and I know you've played basketball, you probably grew up playing some softball, why did you gravitate toward volleyball, and why does that hold such an interest for you?
It was probably because I started to excel faster in volleyball, and both my sisters went off to college to play volleyball. So like, oh yeah, I want to do that too. And just how upbeat volleyball is, there's never a dull moment in volleyball. It's always fast.
Quick,
yeah.
very quick. I always tell people it's like trying to photograph a mosquito, because, you know, the ball is, it's such an unpredictable
Right,
sport.
absolutely.
To her point, why are there so many good volleyball programs right here? I mean, when you look at the state championships the last 2 years, Jackson Center, Loramie's won, Miami East has won. Look at what Marion Local did a few years ago when Amy was there and had her great run of success. St. Henry, you know something about St. Henry volleyball. Why is there so many great volleyball programs right here amongst you?
I mean, it starts with the community. The community has kind of gravitated towards volleyball. In some areas of the state, it's softball, it's soccer, but in this area, it's volleyball. Some of that has to do with the coaching. The coaching in this area is just unbelievable. It has a lot to do with the community, though. You know, the younger kids I teach second grade, everybody wants to be like Paige and Julia and Rachel and Blake and Madison and Abby, and the list goes on. Like, the kids in town look up to the athletes, and everybody comes to watch them play. So whenever your sport is doing well, you create that fan base. So it's just this never-ending cycle of everybody wants to be like them, and the community gets on board, and so many kids in this area play club volleyball. So many kids pick up a ball in the off-season. The coaches put in so much time in the off-season. And like I said, it starts with the team, the current team right now. Everybody looks up to them, and when somebody looks up to you, you're going to put in a little more time because you want to be like that person.
You just did a wonderful ad for the OHSAA. Dan Ross would love that. That's what they want. They want those kids looking at people like Paige and saying, I want to grow up like her. I mentioned a moment ago to you, or about you, that you're going to University of Michigan next year, which is a little bit like rat poisoning to the people in this area because everybody's a Buckeye fan. But I've been to Michigan. I've seen that school, and I understand a little bit that some of the football players say now the rivalry really doesn't mean what it used to mean. They like the school. They like lots of things about other places besides Ohio State and Ohio schools. Tell us why you picked Michigan.
Well, my first visit, just when I walked onto campus, it's like an old traditional school. That caught my attention because all the other schools I visited were so updated, I guess, kind of. So I'm like, oh, I want to experience what college should be like. It shouldn't be like you're living at home. And also just how pretty the campus is. I was up there this past weekend, and the leaves are changing, and there's just so many trees that it just makes you fall in love instantly. And then also I got a chance to go to the volleyball game on Saturday, and Michigan's gym isn't very big, but they pack it. They sell out. I mean, they had to move the Ohio State game to Chrysler because Cliff Keen wasn't big enough, and they had a record-breaking attendance of over 8,000 people came. So there's that, and then just the girls this weekend on the team. I mean, there's no awkward moments. I fit in right away.
And you want to study sports management.
Yes.
And by the way, your story could be worse because we cover Ohio State baseball. Greg Beals is a very good relationship of mine. He has a daughter that's an excellent volleyball player, and she picked to go where?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yep,
Now that would be a little awkward in the Beals house.
Yeah, she was there with me. She was there this weekend.
You don't have that to work about at home. Final question for both of you. This, you coach and you play for a school that has never won a team championship, OHSAA championship. What would it mean to take this group of girls, Diana, and win that first title in volleyball?
Everything.
Short answer, everything. Give you the same opportunity.
Yeah, same as her, everything. I mean, our community has given us so much support that you just want to give it back to them. So
I'm pretty sure that in a conference that has so much tradition in football, that the match that you played with Coldwater is going to go down this year as one of the absolute best events in the MAC football, basketball, whatever, on that particular night. That was really special.
I agree.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
both. And best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Diana Kramer, Paige Jones, our guest this week. That wraps up this edition of First Person Again, sponsored by the Unity National Bank. With this reminder, see what a difference a community bank can make for you. They've got offices in Piqua, Troy, and Tip City. Again, we thank you for your support of what we do on Press Pros Magazine every week. And until next time, for our guests and the sponsors, we'll see you again next time on another edition of First Person.